Every child knows, even the smallest, that being naughty is much more fun than being good. Being good all the time is very boring. Not only that, it's tiring too. If you sit still for a long time, your foot goes to sleep. If you try to eat with a knife and fork, the meat flies off your plate. If you wash your hands really clean, by the time you are ready, the others have been waiting at the table for ages. Grown-ups are forever saying, "Don't be naughty, be a good boy. Do as you're told. Behave yourself." It's easy for them to talk, but what's the point of grown-ups saying, "Be happy while you're a child"? Every child knows, even the smallest, that to be grown-up is far better. Grown-ups can put on whichever dress they like. If they hear a fire alarm, there's nothing to stop them leaning out of the window. However hot they get, they can always drink water. They can mumble good morning as quietly as they want to. And they don't have to go to bed just as television gets really exciting. And that's not all. Grown-ups can do what they want, whereas children have to do what the grown-ups want. Grown-ups are forever bossing children about. Put on your pullover, wash your hands, don't bite your nails, look where you're going, put away your toys. And if the child doesn't do what he's told, they say, "How many times do I have to tell you to wash your hands? You can't come to the table like that. How many times do I have to tell you to put on your pullovers? Do you want to catch cold? How many times do I have to tell you to look where you're going? You'll fall flat on your face. How many times do I have to tell you not to bite your nails? It's a disgusting sight. How many times do I have to tell you to put away your toys? Must it always be me who puts them away after you?" And if the child doesn't do what they're told, doesn't do what he's told, they say, "My dear child, how many times do I have to tell you to wash your hands? Put on your pullover. Look where you're going. Stop biting your nails. Put away your toys. Do as you're told. How many times do I have to tell you? How many times do I have to tell you? How many times do I have to tell you?" And grown-ups go on saying that so many times that in the end the child does do what he's told. He washes his hands, puts on his pullover, looks where he's going, doesn't bite his nails, and puts away his toys. And at last the grown-up is happy. There are some grown-ups who smile when they are happy and say, "You see, my boy, you can be good." But there are others who, even when they are happy at last, just shake their heads and say, "Tell me, my boy, couldn't you have done as you were told the first time?" I don't know why it is that grown-ups are only really happy when children behave themselves. What fun can there be in that? If I were a grown-up, I'd be quite a different sort of grown-up, and I'd enjoy doing all sorts of things. First of all, I'd enjoy doing exactly what I liked. If I were a grown-up, I'd never sit on a chair. I'd always kneel on it. I'd run my white-gloved hands along every railing. I'd plant a date stone in my tooth glass. I'd eat a big bar of chocolate every day before lunch, and I'd probably catch flies in my hand if I'd learned to catch flies by then. If I were a grown-up, I'd always go around in my trainers. I'd always drink 2 glasses of water after soup, and I'd walk down the street backwards. I'd stroke every stray cat, and I'd probably whistle so piercingly that everyone would stare at me in fright if I'd learned to whistle with 2 fingers by then. If I were growing up, I'd always swing my legs out when visiting. I'd never blow my nose, I'd just sniff. I'd never wipe my muddy feet on the doormat. I'd keep a real giraffe at home, and he'd sleep beside my bed. And I'd probably ring the bells of all the big houses if I'd lost my fear of bitey dogs by then. If I were grown up, I'd get married, and have as my wife the sort of girl who screams when she sees a little green frog but doesn't say, "Oh, it's horrid," who can blow the sort of soap bubbles that never burst, who is frightened but not angry if I burst a paper bag in her ears, and who can tie the string tightly to my kite. I and the girl who'll be my wife will go around on all fours till we get sick of it, blowing our paper trumpets full blast. We'll be the grown-ups, so nobody can order us to stop before they go mad. If I were a grown-up and married, I'd live in the sort of flat where I could play football in the living room, grow an oak tree in a flower pot, and keep goldfish in the bath. And I'd never have to throw anything away because there'd be a place for everything I bring home, whether it's conkers or rusty nails or string and knots or old tram tickets or a sick hedgehog. In the house where we'd live, we'd only have the sort of neighbors who let us pick up their canary, who offer us a taste of their freshly baked pastries, who send us out shopping and let us keep the bill, and who encourage us with a smile if we play football beneath their window. If I were grown up and married, I'd have lots of children, because I like playing the sort of games which need a lot of children. All the children would have me as their daddy, and the girl who'd be my wife as their mummy. I and the girl who'd be my wife and the children would play the whole day long. We'd play catch, hide and seek, blind man's bluff. And when we got even more children, we'll hold contests in running, jumping, throwing, and even scooter riding. I'll always be the winner, so that the children can be proud of their father. Our children will never tell tales, never quarrel, never cry, and never want to take away our toys, because I hate tale-telling, quarreling, crying children who always take away other people's toys. Our children will be as naughty as me and the girl who'll be my wife, but never naughtier, because that's not fair. We'll all swing our legs together out when visiting. We'll share the big bar of chocolate before lunch. We'll all walk down the street backwards, and we'll all be able to stroke the stray cat, but only in turn, of course, one after the other. In spring, every child will get the same size balloon, but mine will be a little bigger because I'm their father. In summer, I'll buy every child a large ice cream, but I'll buy myself a slightly larger one because I am their father. In autumn, every child will be allowed to walk in the puddles, but I'll walk in the deepest ones because I'm their father. In winter, every child will be allowed to climb snowdrifts, but I'll climb the highest ones because I'm their father. After all, that's only fair, because if they get bigger balloons, larger ice creams, if they walk in deeper puddles, climb higher snowdrifts, then what fun would get out of being a grown-up? If only I could be a grown-up now. But now I'm this small, and to become that big, I'll have to grow this much. Until I've grown that much, I have to do as I'm told and wash my hands and put on my pullover and look where I'm going and not bite my nails and put away my toys and a whole lot of other things, many too many to mention. But when I'm grown up, I'll sit at the table with dirty hands and always go around in a short-sleeved t-shirt. And I won't look where I'm going. I'll rather fall flat on my face. And I'll bite all my nails to the roots. And I'll scatter my toys everywhere. And do a whole lot to other things, many too many to mention. Oh, how fine I'll be when I'm grown up. There's just one thing I don't understand. My mother and father are already grown-ups. So why do they wash their hands? Why do they put on their pullovers? Why do they look where they're going? Why don't they bite their nails? And why on earth do they put their things away tidily? I'll have to ask them someday.